One of the things that I have long struggled with, but am slowly getting better at, is balance. Balance between life areas, balance between goals and projects that are both competing for my time. And this week in particular, my aim was to balance work-related goals and personal-related goals. In a week where I have a lot of social events going on, but also want to make some decent progress on some work tasks I've been putting off for a while, paying attention to how much time, effort, or energy I was giving to each type of task, not only each day, but throughout the week as a whole, was kind of important. To see how I got on with balancing my work-related stuff and my personal life-related stuff though, we're gonna have to go back to Monday morning. Good morning, happy Monday. This week is gonna be an interesting one. It's my birthday week, so we have some fun celebratory kind of things happening at the end of the week, which I'm looking forward to. But before that, I also do need to make sure I'm getting my work done and I'm prioritizing aspects of my goals that need to be done earlier in the 3-month challenge. Otherwise, they just won't happen. For instance, I really need to book our accommodation in Korea, otherwise we won't have somewhere to stay, or at least our options become more limited the closer to the trip it actually gets. The main focus for the first thing this morning is going to be getting the vlog edited from last week. That one has many hours of footage, so I'm predicting it's going to take me a while, which is why I'm already at my computer with my breakfast in hand, ready to kind of get to work, and it's only 7 o'clock. Normally I would be aiming to get up at 7 o'clock. Of course, in the interest of balance, today isn't just going to be about work. We also have creativity time in the evening. I also have some goal work blocks on my calendar. Hopefully I am able to lean into those and the vlog editing doesn't take too long. But in order to get it done, we have to get started, so I'm gonna eat my breakfast and get to editing. Shishmexa has spoken, it is time for lunch. Editing is going quite well. I'm almost towards the evening of Friday, which isn't too shabby actually. So should only take one more work block and that will be done. And then I can have a look at what my other priorities are for the day and get started on some of those. Lunch was excellent, but getting the video uploaded took a little bit longer than expected. So I actually only have about an hour left of my work day, and that includes goal work. When it comes to trying to balance the different projects I have going on, because I have a lot of things I want to do this quarter, I need to make sure I make time for each of them. Something that I very much rely on is my ideal weekly schedule. Now, not every week is going to end up like the ideal. For instance, my ideal would have been goal work in the morning for 2 hours, then a 2-hour block for work, lunch for half an hour, another 2-hour block for work, and then 2 hours for more goal work, because that's the way that I've structured my week. The way it turned out was more like 4 hours for video editing, half-hour lunch, which also kind of featured video editing, and then another 2 hours for video editing, followed by an hour of admin for work. That's okay though, because the ideal is really just there to give me a general structure to follow. It's not the kind of thing that if I don't adhere to the structure perfectly, I've somehow failed the week or whatnot, because it definitely would suck to have gotten to this point on a Monday and already feel like a failure. As for the projects I'm trying to balance this week though, the main ones are 1, my thumbnails course that I purchased at the end of last year and still have done no more than just the introductory hi, welcome to the course lesson, which I don't think really counts as really having gotten into the course. And then the other thing that I'm going to be working on isn't so much work related, but more so personal, leisure, enjoyment related, and that is planning and executing on my birthday plans. My birthday is going to be on Saturday, so that one is fast approaching, and I definitely have some planning that needs to be done in order to do the activities that I want to do. One of the things that I already did for that goal or project is buy a set of alcohol markers, and that's because we're going to be having a cozy coloring date day, but one that goes along with also doing a kind of eat the film for the first 3 Twilight films. The idea is that myself, Monica, and Rachel have each been designated a film, and we need to make one eat the film-esque snack and an eat the film-esque drink. Or essentially you take part of the film or a concept or a scene or a quote or whatever, and you make a snack related to that thing, and then do the same for the drink. Doesn't have to be the same moment in the film, but the idea is once you get to that scene or you get to that moment, then you get to have that snack or drink. Oftentimes people typically do an eat the film just for one movie, and they usually do several snacks or drinks throughout the course of the film, but we just decided that to save ourselves from 1, having way too much homework to do, and 2, eating and drinking way too much stuff, we were just going to do 1 of each for each movie. So 3 foods, 3 drinks. But in terms of these pens, I got the wrong set, or at least I got a set that I thought had certain colors and it doesn't. So I think I might go and buy a complimentary set. I don't know, I'm at least gonna go and have a look on the website because I just like a slightly different color range, slightly more variation in terms of like brighter colors, because this one has a decent set of pastels and I already kind of had pastels. Don't get me wrong, they're good pens, I just wanted different colors. This is the range on this one, but you can see there's no black and there's also a decent chunk of pastels and a kind of smattering of brighter ones. It's kind of hard to tell when they're all mixed in together like this. But thankfully, if I get another pen set from the same series, provided I don't get like the Jumbo Mega 320 pack or whatever, there should not be any colored double ups, which I personally appreciate. Essentially, if you get the 320 pack, you get all the colors. And if you get the 216, you get these ones here. I got the 104, which is just this kind of like side pack or whatnot, so I think I might get the 216 and then I've just got the full range, or at least the full range except for these random packs over here, which I don't really feel like I need, but in future if I ever wanted them I could just get them as well. Now you may be sitting there thinking, Jess, what the heck, you don't use alcohol markers. True, but one of the creativity projects that I really do want to get into is drawing with alcohol markers, coloring and artistry with it, because I think that people do amazing work and it'd be really cool to learn the skill set. I have technically done some alcohol drawing like back in high school, so many moons ago, and it was really fun then, but I also feel like I didn't have the patience to apply the skills and actually learn it properly last time. Whereas now, as I'm trying to intentionally carve out time for creativity and learn new creative skills, I have more of a kind of like willing mindset to be a learner. Yeah. Plus, in terms of doing things in a timely manner, I have placed that order now so that then hopefully it will arrive before the weekend. I do of course have other things on my list that I need to do for my birthday planning, and one thing in particular is planning my contribution for the food and drink. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Twilight Eclipse, so I'm not really too sure which moment or quote or anything to pick from. So I'm gonna have to do some research on that and then find a creative link to bring in the edible and drinkable aspect. I found that they definitely have good resources online for Twilight and New Moon, but finding one for Eclipse has been tricky. Okay, I've written down some ideas for myself, mainly focusing on Rosalie's flashback and then Jasper's flashback, and because mine is going to be around dinner time, I figured that having multiple contributions of smaller things would be kind of, you know, sufficient to make up a meal. Blurring all that out because spoilers, and I don't want to disappoint either myself or future me when I go back and watch the footage and be like, oh look, you had so many great ideas and then you did insert something else here. I need to refine it. I need to make it manageable for myself because, you know, balance is the kind of theme of the week. But I do like the idea of having lots of little pieces to be my contribution rather than one bigger thing. But then again, I'm that way with pretty much everything. I love a pick and choose model. For now though, it is definitely time to go do our exercise because the end of the day is here, and that is the thing that I use to kind of very much signal to the brain that work time is over, we are transitioning into evening activities. And the weather outside looks good, so we're gonna take a walk outside. The walk went well and now it is time to prepare dinner. We're having little chicken cranberry brie pies and oven roasted broccoli. And despite the fact that tonight is supposed to be creativity time night, Vogel's gaming party is down a member, so I might be doing that instead. Technically speaking, it is still a leisure activity, so that's kind of fun, but it isn't necessarily the creativity I was looking for. That being said, I am having my cozy coloring date for my birthday, so that is creativity time. So at least I'm still gonna get creativity time this week, even if I don't do it tonight. It does feel a little bit lame to kind of flounce out on creativity Mondays though, on the second week of doing it. But as long as the creativity time happens, I'm still okay. Dinner finished, it was very tasty, but given that I am aiming for balance this week, one of the things that very much helps with that is not letting yourself get behind on things, wherever possible. For instance, me being constantly behind on my laundry and putting it away. This is the stuff from last week, this is the stuff that I washed today, so we are putting those away. Future Jess will thank me when she doesn't have to go diving in the bucket of black clothes to find one individual piece. Like, is this my t-shirt? No, this is leggings. Is this my t-shirt? No, this is a jumper. No more of that. Not this week. That took all of about 4 songs to do, and yet I procrastinated on it for the entire of last week. But that's okay, because it's done for this week, and future Jess will be pleased with that. For now though, I need to go and update the game, because I haven't updated it in a while, and they have had a lot of changes since I last played. Oh, I have no idea what I put down as the offering. I guess I'm the
Probably
shitty blue flowers.
It's either the flowers or the pie, I'd say.
We're facing the Dark Lord, if that helps.
Oh, Dracula.
No, Jason.
You know Dracula, Jess?
I'm aware of them.
I mean, true. Oh, just a big chased her out.
Nah, she's good. She's down. Games with the guys was fun. I definitely am out of practice and kept forgetting to change my loadout set, so kept getting into a game like, gah, I don't know how any of these perks work. It's cool. I managed to escape one game, which is the aim of the game and the role that I was playing, out of like 6 games that we played or something like that. But more excitingly, I think I have found the hotel for Korea, so that's really good, because that one is like, if we don't get that booked in soon, then I'm just gonna feel super uneasy. I just need to wait for Vogel to come in here and confirm which room he wants, and then it'll actually be booked in. It's done. The hotel is officially booked in. That is one thing I can check off my list from this week, because that was ideally something I was gonna do last week and I didn't quite get around to it, so we're feeling good. One step closer to having the full trip planned. Now as I've done that for January, I just need to figure out what we're gonna do for date night this Thursday. That one I have no idea, but in the name of balance, date night will happen. It took me a second, but I think I found us something to do for date night. I'm gonna take us to this performance thing. Now I just need to figure out where we're gonna have dinner, because food is a very important part. Feeling like a wizard, got it all booked in, but now it is time for bed, definitely, because the body decided to wake us up at 5:45 this morning. A little bit rude, so I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay. We're gonna get a great night's sleep. Good night. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. On the cards for today is primarily work. It is a kind of like full work day in terms of all 4 of my day blocks are work. A block is 2 hours. I have 4 of them, gives me an 8-hour work day. That's the general thinking. In terms of tasks to do, I have tasks from yesterday that didn't quite get done, and I also have tasks for today. For instance, planning, filming, light editing a video maybe. But honestly, I'm feeling very distractible right now, and that's in part because the video that usually goes up in the morning of today, it goes out at like 2 a.m. my time, so I effectively wake up and it's already got comments and such, did not go up because I'm waiting on approval from somebody else before I post it. I don't like waiting. It is not my favorite thing, but also it just makes me feel a little bit discombobulated because usually I would start today with responding to those comments. But the comment's not there because the video's not there. So it's just throwing me off a little bit. It's funny how small things like that can really throw us off kilter. It also doesn't help that because Vogel wasn't set on his work schedule for the week, he wasn't sure when certain things are happening. We were originally planning on having a date night today, but now we're not having one because he's free on Thursday, which is usual date night day, so I planned it for then instead. I'm excited for our date night. That one's all booked in now. We're going to dinner and a show. The funny thing is that the show is called 222, like the time, 222, a ghost story or something like that. And then I booked us in for dinner at a place called Shed 22, completely not realizing the connection there until I went to tell Vogel the plans, and then I was like, oh, spooky. It should be a good time, but that isn't till Thursday. For now, it is work time. JashiiCorrin has spoken. It is lunchtime. I am looking forward to this because I don't love the types of videos where I film all the A-roll and then I have to go over it again and again and again to go and pick out specific pieces of B-roll, either by like going and filming them or picking them from past videos or anything like that. I typically find that the video itself ends up being a good video, otherwise I wouldn't put it out, but the process for it is mind-numbing and just takes a lot longer than I feel like it should. In part, I know this is because I do not have a really good bank of B-roll, or essentially the clips of old videos I have that could be used for B-roll, they're not organized very well. This is definitely something I'm going to tackle in my digital declutter, but that is not a right now problem. So right now I'm just suffering due to lack of nicely organized B-roll. I would actually just love to get to a point where I have a really solid B-roll bank of clips that are mainly from my videos, not kind of external B-roll and such. Those can be useful, but I just prefer to use my own clips where I can. But having a bank of those that's nicely organized, very well sorted, so that then these types of videos don't give me the heebie-jeebies so much. I found myself losing focus a lot and having to constantly pull myself back to what I'm supposed to be doing. Vogel ate the rest of my pretzels. What a snake. I know I have more, but still. They're all the way up there. More excitingly, my fruit compote actually arrived, which means I will have some of that tomorrow for my breakfast. I haven't had it for either today or yesterday, and I definitely missed it. I've at least gotten through the first official complete pass-through, so anywhere we have audio clips down the bottom here, that's essentially a flag to me to say, hey, B-roll needed here. And I made myself a checklist so I can go and do that. But the idea of doing that right now is like pulling teeth. No, I'm not doing it. So instead, I'm gonna go and get started on another goal that I have for this week, or this quarter, which is completing the thumbnails course. The course that I purchased last year and haven't gotten past the introductory hello. I don't know how long the course actually is or how long it's gonna take me, so I could actually get the whole thing done this week. That'd be pretty sweet. Okay, it reckons that I'm 13% of the way through because I actually got a little bit further than just the welcome. And it has a kind of list of the different modules and such, so I'm just gonna start at the start, I guess. I'm just rewatching the introduction and he literally says, you can watch through this in less than 1 day, which makes it even sadder that I procrastinated this long on this task, but that is just how it be sometimes. Anywho, let's get started. So I'm getting through the introduction module and just kind of like, welcome to the course and this is what we're gonna learn about and such. And I love how it's just calling me out, like most people take forever to consume a course. This is designed to be consumable and actionable. Yeah. I'm not gonna let the thumbnail course shame me. Okay, maybe a little bit. Something that I am definitely worried about is that I'm gonna get through this course and it's just gonna be like, oh look, no new information. I already knew this. And while I know that there is a difference between knowing something and doing something, I hope that even if I do know it, it does at least incentivize me to do it. Like the stuff I already know about making good thumbnails, I hope that this helps me do it. Yeah. Or teaches me something new. That would also be really cool. It's also telling me to watch the course in one go, so I guess I might try to do that. It's currently 1:40, so if I just do this for the rest of the day, then I mean, I don't know how long any of the videos are, but he said that I could do it in 1 day. So, maybe. It has now been 10 minutes. I have rewatched all of the sections that I had already watched and taken some notes. Mostly stuff that I already knew, but at least it makes my notes complete. I was always that kind of person in like university or high school or whatnot that when I started taking my notes properly, I wanted them to be very full, very complete, no piece of information left out type of a deal, which often meant that my note-taking took for flipping ever. I've at least gotten a little bit better. I'm a little more streamlined now, but it is a hard pattern to get out of. Especially when you're learning something genuinely new, because you're not too sure at that stage what is or isn't going to be helpful or relevant or most useful. Given I already know some stuff about thumbnails, I'm not taking down as much information as I otherwise would be if I knew nothing at all. It's now 2:20 and I am taking a brain break, just getting up, stretching my limbs a little bit because I feel like that's what the body needs. It's also looking like a nice day, so I might go take a walk outside. Not yet, but in general. But I'm making progress with the course. We're now getting into the sections that I haven't actually watched before, so that's kind of nice. We just went through the AHQ framework. I do love a framework. It makes things easier to remember. And as we're going through, we're also building a checklist that I can apply to future thumbnails, so I appreciate that as well. As we're going through, I definitely am familiar with a lot of the concepts he's talking about, but I also appreciate that he specifies that thumbnail making is an art, not a science. And as somebody with a more science-leaning way of doing things, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. I think it's that idea of just like applying the concepts where you can, but also knowing that there's nuance to this and sometimes they don't apply. I do appreciate that as we go through, he is showing instances where the rules he's kind of talking about don't apply or have been broken but still successfully. But so far so good, and now as I've done about 5 minutes of walking around, it's time to get back to it. Because how cool would it be to have this goal completely checked off today? That's not necessarily what the target is here. I don't want to just blitz through the course just for the sake of checking it off on the Tuesday, but I think that given he has told us you can watch it all at once, it would be nice to maintain my focus and get the majority of it done at least. Totally took pause to, I don't know, apply some of the principles and just like redo one of my old thumbnails, which means I am now at 3:36 and am 25% of the way through the course. So the chances of getting this 100% done today are looking slimmer. But I still feel like I am actually learning applicable skills. I just need to actually apply them. Sadly, in that time, what was my very pleasant day has turned quite grey. Oh, it's fine. I have a walking pad for a reason. We can keep the streak alive that way. It's now 4:25 and we've gotten to a section where he's kind of showing us how he makes a thumbnail, and as someone who has been making thumbnails for a hot minute, most of it's like, yeah, okay, I know how to do that, except for the fact that he's using Canva and I use Photoshop. But I'm also just like, could you not have maybe trimmed out some of the footage where you were just umming and ahhing about stuff? I do very much try in any kind of tutorial-based content to make it as streamlined as possible, to like show the process in full without wasting the viewer's time. And I feel like just ever so slightly, my time is being wasted. That being said, I have watched every section so far on 2x speed rather than 1x speed, so it is going faster than it could be. But one of the unfortunate things is that this platform does not have subtitles, so every so often I have to go back and just be like, wait, what did you say? I actually find that I watch a lot of videos on 2x speed nowadays. I would love to know, do you also do this? Do you watch most videos on 2x speed, like Reels in particular? We're just gonna hold our finger down and make that thing go zippy. But even YouTube videos, depending on what the YouTube video is. The sun has come out again though, so I am kind of tempted to go on an outside walk, but I don't want to go on an outside walk and then get caught in the rain. Vogel has also said that he will let me know at 5 p.m. as to when he wants to be picked up, but he also said that he might want to get picked up between 5 to 5:30, so if he lets me know at 5 that he wants picking up then and there, it's like, cool, I'm still 20 minutes away. I think that given the fact that the sun sets later, I might just hold off on walking until after dinner and see what the weather's looking like then. It is 5 o'clock on the dot, and as promised, Vogel has updated me. He wants picking up at 5:35, so that's nice and easy. And I, according to the little progress tracker thing, am up to 50% of the way through the course, but some of the final ones are kind of like bonus materials, which are like, how did I make this thumbnail here? How did I make this one here? I don't think I need to watch those, or at least maybe I'll just watch the start of them and the end, because the actual making process, for the most part, I can figure that out myself. I think I'll just finish off the module that I'm currently on because it's only a 10-minute video, which means watching at 2x speed, it should only take me 5 minutes if I don't keep pausing it to write notes. I do have a decent crop of notes so far though, so I'm at least getting my money's worth on the notes section. But I'm definitely feeling optimistic about getting this course finished, even if not today, at least this week. Alrighty, officially at 58%, but it's time to go pick up Vogel. 58% done isn't too bad, especially on a day where I wasn't necessarily intending on starting the thumbnails course. In theory, I would have liked to have gotten Saturday's video more complete, but I just got to a point where the idea of trying to find the B-roll was soul-sucking. That's okay, I can finish that one off tomorrow and possibly do some more thumbnails work, but in that idea of balance. Holding my boundaries is so important for that. And for me, the boundary I'm trying to keep is finishing work by 5 p.m. And given the fact that it is now 5:15 and time to go get Vogel, work is done. Patiently waiting for Vogel to actually show up. It is 5:45, sir. Where are you? He'll be here soon. But one of the things that comes with this focus on balance for the week is not only balancing life areas, like, work time, personal time, household stuff, whatever else you need to balance, but also balancing my effort towards my goals. So obviously today, a lot of my effort was put towards the thumbnails course and working on that, but I do have 24 other goals for this quarter on my list. That's not to say though that all 25 of them are going to get worked on every single week. Balance doesn't necessarily mean working on things the exact same amount of time all the time. It's not taking my day and breaking it up into 25 equally sized segments that I can work on a little bit of everything every single day. This week, what my balance looks like is trying to hold my work boundaries, trying to focus on doing the thumbnails course, and focusing mainly on making my birthday awesome. Last week, balance looked like pouring a lot of time, effort, and energy into revamping my office space. Rather than what I'm thinking of as like micro balance or trying to tackle balance on a day-to-day level, I'm thinking of it more in terms of the quarter as a whole. So yes, I want to work on all of these things and make progress on them across the entire of the quarter, but that doesn't mean that every single day they need to get touched on or worked on. For right now though, the type of balance that I probably would like is a piece of sushi in each hand because I am so hungry and I really wish Vogel would just come downstairs so we can go get some food. Look who decided to show up. Right there. You can see a slither of his face. It counts. Yay, food time! We went and got sushi train for dinner, which we haven't gotten for a while, so that was kind of exciting. I did definitely start eating my pieces in the restaurant and then ate the rest of it in the car on the ride home. But after tea, Vogel and I watched some Stranger Things. I got on the walking pad to do my walk, even though it was kind of a nice enough night outside. He didn't really want to go with me, which is fair. He has other things to do with his evening, so all good. But we got some leisure time in, and now I'm going to do a couple things on my computer before I go and start annotating my book. Because we were supposed to do book annotating handover last weekend, and 2 out of 3 of us were not ready for that. So we've organised to do the Sisterhood of the Travelling book handover this weekend at my birthday celebration, and I'm still not that close to being finished. I, however, am going to confirm which foodie pieces I'm going to be doing for my birthday, and despite the fact we were only supposed to provide 1 food and 1 drink, I have multiple food options for 2 separate points in the film, and multiple drink options. But like, it's my birthday, so I can do what I want. Just need to confirm which ones I'm actually doing so I can write myself a shopping list. I've got my notepad ready. Okay, so I think I have it confirmed. We've got our drink to start, then our first little snack plate, and then our second. And I've written myself a list of the things I need to get, which means now it is time to turn off the computer and go and do my book annotating. Well, I did get to read my book. I am up to chapter 30 something. I'm further than halfway through, and that's what counts. I really hope I get this finished by Saturday, because it would be kind of embarrassing to be like, hey, can we just delay another week? No, we won't be doing that. But I do have to go to bed right now because the body is tired and so is the mind, so good night. Good morning, happy Wednesday. I'm kind of considering going and doing my walk now and maybe doing an outside walk, just because I do find that on Wednesdays, because it is midweek mafia hangout, like hang out with my friends and such, which usually butts right up against the end of my work day. Wednesdays are usually the day that I am most at risk of falling off with my streak. Vogel's currently in the shower as well, so it gives me a good excuse to just get my stuff together and go for a walk, so I think I'll do that. I haven't looked outside, but I can't hear rain, so maybe an outside walk it is. Also means that I can try out my new headphones and see if those work outside. So far I've only worn them indoors and I don't know how they work. They have a lot of like those soft touch function type things and I haven't read the instructions, so yes, it is a me problem. But I'd like to see how they go with noise cancelling in the wind. We actually originally bought them for Vogel, but they didn't fit his ears right, so they're mine now. Shake test. Make sure they don't fall out. Alrighty, let's go walking. I remembered to put a jumper on, but this is the first time I've worn this jumper since I started doing the whole weight loss-esque thing, and it doesn't look particularly loose, but it feels a lot more loose than it used to. It used to be quite like tight pulled, and now it's like, oh, I've got some breathing room. How exciting is that? Yay for non-scale victories. The walk went well, breakfast is done now. The headphones didn't necessarily hold up the best to full frontal assault of the wind, but in general they were fairly comfortable. I think I'll probably just do my over-ear headphones. Those ones are a little bit better at holding up to the wind. But now it's time for a shower, and sadly it has been brought to my attention that the shower is potentially leaking again. Just gonna throw out my house, just throw it away, start again, so much easier. If you weren't here for the last Change Your Life challenge, that was one of my major mental health related goals for last one. The shower had been leaking, so we were going to get it fixed, and the walls fixed, and everything fixed. So we did that. We got it fixed, and the walls fixed, and everything patched up, and we thought it was fine. And now it might not be. I definitely didn't need that this week, but hey, that's what balance is about. Sometimes life throws you things that you weren't intending on balancing, and now you must also balance those too. So I'm gonna go have a shower and see if it leaks for me too, because so far Vogel has had his and it leaked for him, so this corner is where Vogel had noticed the leaking, and that was where we actually first noticed the leaking when we kind of first moved in. So we got that one sealed up or whatnot, and then later in the piece it came to light that there was leaks elsewhere. I'm hoping that if it is actually a problem, it's an easy fix, but let's have a shower. Well, I will have a shower. No, you were supposed to be fixed. Well, we'll add that to the quarter 4 goals list as well then. I'm genuinely just trying not to let it get me down or derail my day because I have things that I need to do. But I am very frustrated. But the plan for the workday is 1, write a list because I don't really know what's going on, and 2, finish off my Saturday video, so 3, I can go back and consult the list that I already wrote to figure out what I do next. And somewhere in there do something about the shower. We are making good progress today. The video is almost edited. I just need to film a little bit of B-roll. We'll talk about that in a second. But I've also gone and reached out to the people who put in an expression of interest for being a moderator in our reading community Discord server. So that's exciting because the community over there is growing, and I know that myself and the hosts are not online all the time, so when people have questions, it's like, cool, you have to wait like 8 hours because I'm asleep. That's good, just waiting to hear back from them. But in terms of the B-roll, the thing that I need is B-roll of me making a visual display of goal progress. So I thought I would set one up over here, whee, on my sliding doors, so that then it's not just for show, it's actually something I'm gonna use. Because honestly, that's the one that I am most likely of falling off on when it comes to these later months, because things get busy and then Jess defaults to DoorDash. I figure what I'll do is use the smaller ones and essentially make it so that one post-it note is equal to some increment in terms of my overall weight loss goal. If I have a visual display of my progress though, less likely that I will give in to that temptation. Now the trick is, I don't want to get too particular about the alignment of them. Otherwise, I will be here literally all day. And I don't want that for myself. That's not ideal. I really hope my hair doesn't look awful from this angle. Because otherwise this is not going to be a piece of B-roll that I particularly want to use. I also probably should have checked how many of these I need before I got started. But here we are, filming an alternate angle because it's good to have options. I ended up going with a 6x6 and I figured that each post-it note can be half a kilo. I don't want to make it too bite-sized because I want to make pulling one off feel like a genuine accomplishment, but I don't want to make them too big and then never really get to pull any off. Now I just have to go label them. We're going to do this one as 89, which to be completely honest is pointless because I'm already beyond that point. I was just like, oh, we should start it here. But am I going to pull them down or am I going to put them somewhere else? I think I'll put them somewhere else rather than throwing them away. Yeah, okay. Anyways, we will continue. 87. Even just writing out these numbers feels kind of exciting. Gosh, I'm going to be really excited to get out of the 80s because this one just takes such a long time to write, especially with the way I like to do my 8s. My actual goal for this challenge is just to get below 80 come the end of the year. That would be a really big achievement for me. But for the sake of the B-roll, I'm going to have these ones in here. And I figure eventually my goal will probably be to get around this kind of region. I don't have a goal weight, I have a goal feeling, but yeah. What's actually even more exciting than setting this up is that I can pull some of these off. There we go, my little tale of achievement. And the rest of the tracker. That one is exporting now, which means it is time for lunch. Just a little bit later than my weekly schedule would dictate, but I am actually tempted to turn one of my work blocks for this afternoon into a go and get things for your birthday block, or essentially a goal block. Of course, in talking about balance this week, it also needs to be noted that I do work for myself. I have a lot of flexibility in how I schedule and organize my days, and given the fact that this is a week where we have a lot of social commitments, it means that I am leaning a little bit more heavily into time spent on those kind of things, as opposed to work-related tasks. Yes, I am still getting work done, I'm just trying to get it done in a very timely manner so that I have time to do other things. We have also received a package and I sincerely hope that it is my pens, or something equally exciting. Yes! Oh my gosh, did I need this many pens? No, probably not, but we're not thinking about that right now because it dampens our excitement. I'm very much looking forward to using these on the weekend. I thought it was kind of silly that the last one came with this shoulder strap because I'm like, why do you need a shoulder strap for a set of pens? This one is significantly heavier though, so I'm kind of thankful for it. But I got my pens and I got my spooky coloring book. Yay! This is all I've done on it so far, so effectively the test page and then this one here. But I only had a pastel set of pens. Now I have more colors. Should be a good time. Lunch is done and I've gotten to a good point in terms of stopping with work. So I'm gonna go and get those things that I need for my birthday celebration. I've got my little list of bits and pieces. And I'm gonna see if my headphones do okay just walking around the mall. But in general, I'm hoping this doesn't take too long. We are back home. We have acquired things. In particular, I grabbed 2 bottles of drink because one thing I'm making is a dark and stormy because the start of eclipse is dark and stormy. Yeah, that's right. That's a solid link. But I got smoked rum instead of traditional dark rum because I thought it might be a little bit more interesting. And the other one I've got here is a sparkling rosé, and that is going to be for a cocktail I'm calling Rosalie's Revenge. This is part of Rosalie's flashback in Eclipse. In terms of my food contribution though, I picked 2 key moments that I was going to focus on, one of them being Rosalie's flashback and the other one being Jasper's flashback. They're within 15 minutes of each other, but I'm sure we can just kind of combine them together and call it a dinner. So one of the things I'm doing for Rosalie's one is a crostini, so breadstick to make crostini. And then to top that, I'm doing a goat's cheese and pomegranate seed type mix with a couple other bits and pieces that I already had in the house. I wanted to do these mini vol au vents, but I wanted to use a mixed mushroom kind of pack to do that. I was not going to make the pastry myself though, so pre-made pastry is fine. And I'm excited about my mushroom medley. It's like an eclectic bunch of different mushrooms. To go alongside those, I got some macaroons and some lime melting moments. I probably personally would have preferred passion fruit, but lime is good too. Essentially, I wanted it to be kind of high tea vibes and a little bit fancy, like vintage elegance is essentially the theme we're going for here. I went and looked up actual recipes from the 1930s and they did not spark a lot of joy. So I'm taking some creative liberties here. And then when it came to Jasper's flashback, I was thinking kind of Southern style stuff, but the problem is that the majority of the people coming don't like spice, and I don't really know a lot of Southern style recipes. So did I cop out? You betcha. I got Southern style chicken bites, and I also got some jalapeno cheese bites because I'm hoping that there is sufficient cheese in this, that the jalapeno is a little bit more chill, because yes, jalapeno is spicy for me and my friends. But to go along with that, I thought I'd make some mini barbecue kind of sliders. Maybe not so much barbecue, maybe just little mini cheeseburgers, but of course, had to get a melty cheese for that, so we've got that. I didn't pick up the slider buns because I feel like I want them to be a little bit more fresh. I wasn't so pressed with getting the kind of crostini bread today, because if that goes a little stale, it's totally fine, because you end up slicing it thin and kind of further toasting it in the oven anyway. I also wanted something to serve it on though, so I got some wooden board things. I don't know, they are irregular acacia serve board. Yeah, I thought we could just use them as plates, honestly. I got 3 of them. And I also got this 2-tier serving stand, which I figured I'd use for the high tea kind of aspect because it's a little bit fancy, but it's also neutral enough that I will use it again. I was kind of thinking like, oh, I could go thrifting for the first time ever and maybe get something that's a little bit more vintage elegance feel, but I'm like, whatever, I will use this again. I probably wouldn't use that again. And to report back, I'm pretty sure these headphones need charging. I don't know why I elected today to just test them out on every scenario possible, but I did. It's so cute. Let's just ignore the fact that my table definitely needs to be cleaned up, and I also haven't finished assembling it, but aw, it's gonna look so good. Also, I have an instruction manual. It is 1 page. It is single-sided, yes, confirming, but it starts at step 3. So, I mean, I'm not an egg. I can figure it out, but still, come on. It was only like 24 New Zealand dollars from Kmart though, so I'm not really that fussed. After falling into a Reels hole though, I am back at the computer and I'm going to do some more work on the thumbnails course because it would be good to make progress on that, even if only a little bit today, because I don't think I'm going to finish it today. Essentially though, I'm going to see how much of the course I can do before Rachel gets here. Currently we are at 58%. We're going to see where we can get to. Despite the fact that it says that I'm at 75%, I have actually finished the course. We're just into the bonus section now, so do I want to watch the bonus section? I don't know. Mainly because most of them seem like a how I made this thumbnail type video, which I might kind of like peruse through them and see if there are any that are in particular interesting. The first video in the section is about thumbnails and titles though, so I might watch that one. But technically speaking, base of the course is finished. Okay, I watched some bonus lessons. We're at 92%, but Rachel's here now, so it's time to do something else. In particular, something much more fun than watching this guy make thumbnails. Not to say that it's not helpful for some people, it's just not helpful for me. The rest of the course was pretty good though. A most enjoyable evening. We had wraps, we had very minimal journal time because then we went and got Vogel because his train was cancelled. But now it is 9:45 and thus a good time to get in bed and do some annotating. At least I'm probably not going to be alone and not finishing it by Saturday either, because Rachel also probably won't finish her annotations by Saturday. Not going to beat myself up about it though, because this is supposed to be fun. I'm going to keep it that way. Another thing that's good to note, especially when it comes to the idea of balance within the hobby space, is that oftentimes a lot of us have multiple hobbies, whether it's reading or gaming or crocheting or watercolor or whatever else. And much like we talked about yesterday, balance does not necessarily mean the same amount of everything all the time. It doesn't mean dividing your day up into however many segments you need so every single life area gets the same amount of your attention. Right now I am in a season where certain hobbies are getting more play than others. And right now I am trying to make more time, or trying to allocate more time to reading, in particular in trying to get the Sisterhood of the Traveling Book annotations done, but also because I enjoy it. But that means other hobbies like watching movies has kind of taken a back seat. At least until this weekend. Hobbies like video games, that one is kind of taking a pause at the moment. Or at least the type of video gaming that I typically like to do, which is playing Assassin's Creed on the Xbox downstairs. That does not mean that I have abandoned those hobbies. It just means that right now they're not getting the majority of my focus. And that's cool. I still enjoy them. And I will enjoy them again. Just not this second. And I think this kind of goes with the idea that there is no minimum amount that you need to do anything. in order to actually call it a hobby, or like no frequency with which you have to complete the thing to still say that you are a hobbyist of that hobby. Like if I don't read for the next 2 weeks, I would still consider myself a reader. If I don't pick up an Xbox controller for the next 2 months, I would still consider myself a gamer. Not in like a professional sense or anything, but that's the thing. These are hobbies. The hobby police don't exist. They're not coming for you. Is this a reminder to me specifically? Yes, it is. Anywho, I need to pick up my book. These annotations are not going to write themselves. Plus, I also don't want to run out of hobby time. This is how far through I am at the moment, so I'm over halfway. We're making progress. And my tier tally is only at 8 so far. And if you're wondering about this, it's because I drew a little bone on the prison. Officially up to chapter 39 out of like 67 or 8 or something like that. But now it is time to go to bed. Good night. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I have a dilemma. So yesterday we set up this display, essentially, for me to keep track of my goals and such. But I'm not too sure when I should remove them, because technically speaking, today I reached 86.5. So then I feel like I should take both of these off because I've reached that milestone. It can go down in the achievement tail. But then what if tomorrow I'm back up to like 86.8 or something? I don't think I want to remove it from the tail and then put it back up on the board because that just feels like a lot of chopping and changing. But I also want to celebrate the milestone by removing the thing off the board. So I think what I'm going to do at this stage is anytime I hit a milestone, it moves down into the achievement tail, even if I don't necessarily stay there. I'm kind of thinking about it in terms of like pushing a block forward or something. Like, you know, you're in a sitting position, you're pushing a block forward, and as far as you can push the block just kind of stays there. And then until you get more flexible or more stretchy or whatnot, you can't push the block any further away. So even if I do kind of go up from the value, then that can be like my achievement cap thus far or something. I don't know if I'm explaining this well. I did only just wake up and like, you know, am half ready for the day. Hair done, breakfast not had. For now, I'm going to take these two down and I'm going to say that that is part of my achievement tail. Stick them together and put them on the tail. I might actually put the achievement tail higher than down here because I think that down there it's not really as noticeable. Well, I mean, it is kind of noticeable. It's hot pink, but still. Kind of like a, hey, this is an achievement. It gets to be like, you know, up higher or something. But that's one row off, so yay. Thursday is usually my lowest weigh-in day, and then the weekend starts. The weekend doesn't actually start on Thursday, but date night is on Thursday, and we usually go out for dinner, and that means that the food choices are typically ones that help me retain more water, which increases my mass. Plus, they're usually just maybe not the best for me in terms of like nutritional goals and such, but I've got my overnight oats though. It's time to have my breakfast and get ready for our live stream. I can worry about that tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We're ready. It is officially time to start. The stream is done and I actually made tidying up my desk one of the tasks that we did at the end of the stream, so it's not that messy. I mean, apart from the pile of off cards, but that doesn't really count. And I've actually been quite enjoying how my new office layout has been keeping me like incentivized to keep things tidy, because I really have been enjoying having a more clear desktop and the fact that I don't have as much clutter on my shelves and stuff. I've just been better about tidying up, so that's been kind of nice. Looking mostly tidied up, so it is time to do some more work. In particular, I'm going to do next week Jess a favor by getting started on editing next week's vlog today, which ideally was an aim for Q3, didn't really happen consistently, so we're going to put that into effect this quarter. JashiiCorrin says it's time for lunch, and although I have not made as much progress as I would like, we have made some progress. We're doing future us a favor. I can't remember if I filmed the fact that I set this thing up, but I set this thing up, yay! It's gonna look so good when it's all set up. I definitely have things that I need to do before my friends get here though, because this place is a mess. But for right now, it is lunchtime. We're gonna turn this one into a working lunch and finish off the thumbnails course. Mainly because I am 96% complete just watching through the bonus materials and I want it to be done. We did it! It's done! Thankfully, I didn't really need to take any additional notes because I'm still having my lunch. But it feels good to have that one actually finished in terms of watching. I have to go back through my notes and consolidate a little, make them a little bit more usable for future me, because right now they're just like a swamp of thoughts. And also consider any actions that I want to take after the materials I have learned, because it's all good and well to have done the course and like learned a thing, supposedly, but if I don't put it into action, then it doesn't really mean anything. I might do that after my lunch though. Normally around this time on a Thursday, I would be transitioning from work into goal work, and I guess technically speaking, watching the thumbnails course is like the best of both worlds. It is a goal, but it is also related to work. But I have this sneaking suspicion that tomorrow, which is also supposed to be a half work, half goal work kind of day, I might just be a tad bit distracted because I'm going to be preparing for my birthday celebration on Saturday. Like tidying up my house, getting things organized in terms of food contributions, other stuff. And because I know I'm going to be distracted and just want to do that tomorrow, I think I might just have the rest of today be work. My general thinking here, or what I'm trying to lean into, is that in knowing that tomorrow Jess will struggle more to do her work, we will just do the work today where she won't struggle as much because she won't be as distracted. To be honest, she struggled today as well, but she did get some done. She has at least set tomorrow Jess up for success. I've got like a scaffold of the newsletter, but I didn't get much further than that, so I'm gonna have to write that in the morning. But at least I know what I'm writing about, and I've got a general template to work with, so there's that. But for now, it is 4:20 and thus time to leave because we are going to pick up Vogel for date night. I am most excited. And then when I get home, I need to make sure I do exercise because I want to keep the streak alive, but I haven't gotten any exercise in today yet. Outside of like stood up from desk, went to get snack or plate, which doesn't really count. Not for me at least. Day night was most enjoyable. The play was actually really good. I did not see the ending coming because it was a bit of a twist. No spoilers. And I think the Vogel didn't see it coming either, and they kind of at the end of it, because there is such a kind of like twist to the story, they ask, hey guys, we still have a couple nights until it's all wrapped up, so if you could just keep it secret, squirrel. So that's what we're doing, even though by the time this goes out, that will be over. Doesn't matter, just in case. For now though, Vogel and I are going to watch an episode of Stranger Things, and I'm going to do my walk because we want to keep the exercise streak alive. The walking is done, the streak is alive. We are half an episode deep, which means another half episode, but we're going to take that one to bed, so good night. Good morning, happy Friday. We're getting on to do exercise because we're going out for dinner tonight and I will not feel like exercising afterwards. Outside of that though, also on the cards for today, we have podcast recording. We have finishing the newsletter I didn't get to finish yesterday. So maybe a little bit more work than I had hoped for, but it's all right. And I also need to get my house set up for tomorrow because that's when we're having our Twilight Eat the Film kind of event. Along with that, we also have the people who did the tiling in the bathroom coming by this morning because they're going to check that leak, see if it's something that they can fix. Which to say that I'm not thrilled about the leak is probably quite an understatement. It definitely has Vogel and I questioning if we even want to live in this house anymore. I know that seems really minor, but there are other things about this place that aren't quite right for us anymore. So it isn't just the bathroom and isolation, that's just kind of like cherry on the cake type of a thing. But that doesn't sound like a right now problem. A right now problem is getting my walk done so that I can get to work. Well, getting the walk done so I can get ready so I can get to work. Technically, I could do my walk outside today. The weather isn't that bad. I mean, I haven't really looked at it that much. Maybe it is that bad. But I just wanted something easy. And given the fact that they're going to be coming by this morning, just in case Vogel has to take off to actually go to work, I would rather be here ready for them, or at least like jump off the walking pad, talk to them, rather than be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm like 10 minutes into a half-hour walk outside, so can you like loiter for 20 minutes and I'll see you in a second. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. For now though, I'm going to put on some telly and get my walk done. In theory, they've fixed that one now, so hopefully that does not do any more leaking, because I just don't need any more problems from this bathroom. Just trying to enjoy my space. For now though, it is time to film a podcast. Podcast recording went well, and I just got a knock on my door and a phone call from Rachel because she accidentally ordered her Uber Eats to my house because that was the last delivery address that she used. So I have breakfast now. Well, second breakfast. So I had some hash browns and I've got, well, technically 2 hot chocolates. I'm not gonna drink both hot chocolates, but I have a hot chocolate, so that's kind of fun. But for now, I need to write a newsletter with my hot chocolate. I got an email from YouTube the other day being like, hey, new features, check out our new features. And you press the button and it takes you to a Mr. Beast video. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I've definitely been very distractible today, but the newsletter is written. We had our meeting with the YouTube people, so that was fun too. And we got a package from Journal Say, so that's very exciting. It's now almost 2:30 though, and I haven't had lunch, but I'm also not that hungry, so I probably will just have a snack if I feel like it a little bit later. We're going out for dinner tonight though, which is an all you can eat. So I'm like, do I want to fill up when there's all you can eat? Probably not. I'm very much looking forward to it, but that isn't until 6. What I haven't actually done though is written myself a task list for the day, and I'm feeling just a little bit discombobulated. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna take action on probably getting ready for tomorrow, because I do not want to have to get ready for my birthday celebration on birthday celebration day, mainly because I have better things to do, like celebrate, and also I don't want to be a scatterbrained mess running around like trying to do last minute things when my friends are supposed to arrive at 11:30. I want to be able to take the morning easy, get my exercise done, do those very, very last minute things, and I don't want the list of last minute things to be like massive. Past Jess at least tried to start writing a list for me. She didn't get very far though, so let's go fill this out. We officially have a list now, and it's time to go and do some prep for tomorrow because I need to do tidying and food prep and other kind of stuff. I think I'll feel a lot better once the space is set up and I have some of those food prep pieces done, so let's get onto it. I didn't get every single prep task that I wanted to done. For instance, there's a very large stack of boxes sitting behind me that need to all be taken out to the recycling, but I think that one is going to be a later me problem, mainly because Dad will be here soon. We're going out for tea. I'm very excited. Mum would be coming, but she's not feeling well today, so that's a bummer. But we're going to Wildfire. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so tasty. Before that though, I need to tidy up enough in the kitchen so that I feel good leaving it and get my stuff together so we can leave. A very tasty dinner, and I got some candles, which is really exciting. Thank you to Brother and Jonga. Very nice gift. The one that I've got lit at the moment is a dark vanilla scent. It's quite tasty. I mean, I'm not going to eat it because it's a candle. That's the problem with things like candles and soaps. Like, you know, things that like they look really good or they smell really good, and you're like, I can't actually eat this though because that would be a bad idea. For now though, I am going to go and put in a grocery order so that then Vogel can just pick that up in the morning nice and easy like. And then for the rest of the evening, we might just hang out, watch a video. I'm not getting ACOTAR finished today. It's not happening. I say ACOTAR. ACOMAF. I'm not getting ACOMAF finished today. But I think that Rachel probably won't finish her book either, so at least I'm not alone. Don't feel great about it though. Did the thing, ordered the groceries, watched a little YouTube, read some book. Now it's time for bed. which rightly so because we're both incredibly zonked. So, good night. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy birthday, me. I got to sleep in till 7:18. The luxury. Vogel, on the other hand, woke up at like 6, so sad for him. But I hope you feel okay. He might not feel okay. But the day has started, kinda. I need to get up and think about doing exercise because if I don't do exercise in the morning, it probably won't happen because I'm spending the rest of the day hanging out with my friends. Vogel has presented Jess with gift. Yay! He got me a beat up gun. Pow, 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 pow. I'm very excited for this because I tried one at Monica's house and it was really nice and I'm like, yes, I need this one. I quite like that it comes with its own little carry case. It feels quite like compact and such and it's nice and easy to put away and not be a mess. It's super cool. But I'm not going to use it right now because I'm not feeling particularly sore right now. Aw, Chrissy gift. Thank you, Bee. Vogel also got me some learn to crochet kits with Cornelius the bee and Emilio the turtle. They're going to be so cute or incredibly munted depending on how this goes, but I'm quite excited. Puns and choking hazards. Yeah, less fun on that, but puns. Time for exercise though, so I need to grab my water bottle because hydration is important, so I want to make sure I start my day with that, especially because later today we're going to be making, you know, cocktails and mocktails and all of that type of a thing, so I want to kind of preload the day with water. I'm really excited about today though. I think it's going to go really well. I was originally hoping for an outside walk, but it's soggy out there, so we're just gonna walk on the walking pad. Which does mean getting it out again, but that's fine. I can do that. I have the ability. The morning walk went well, and I also checked in with Coffee Chat because I always enjoy starting my weekend with Coffee Chat, and I won a prize! So, triple plus good. Starting the morning with my exercise, getting the Coffee Chat in, got a prize, and now I need to think about getting ready for having guests, or like more so than yesterday. We're leaving the walking pad out for now so that Vogel can do some exercise after he finishes in the kitchen because he's making me a birthday cake. It's going to be a Belgian lemon tea cake, which is like my favorite cake, so I'm very excited for that as well. Thank you for making me cake.
You're welcome.
It looks so cute.
Thank you for reminding me that I said I was going to make you cake.
You're welcome.
Otherwise I would have felt bad.
Yeah, a little bit. In terms of actually getting ready for the day, step 1, have a shower to get clean. Feeling clean. Step 2 is to put on some cozy clothes. In particular, I'm just going to be wearing these pajama pants because they feel kind of cozy and they're the closest thing to like plaid or tartan that I have. I kind of want to get myself a plaid shirt, but it's not really the season where I'm based to acquire that easily. The pants are on though, which means it's time for step 3, dealing with my mop. The mop has been dealt with, so step 4, which is preparing printouts of my recipes so I don't have to keep looking them up on my phone while I'm trying to prepare foodie bits for our Eat the Film event. Also need to remember to take down the journal say order because some of that stuff is for my friends. It's coming along, it's just so that then I have a reference sheet for when I'm trying to make things and trying to time things appropriately. And now it's time for step 5, which is my friends are already here, so let's have a cool day. Got our cozy little setups so that we can do all of our coloring. Foodie bits. Look at how good the cake looks. Vogel did such a good job. Rachel's starting us off with her cocktail, or one of. Oh no, she's got a knife! She also decided to rep the actual Twilight merch, so she's got extra points, guys. Oh, Team Charlie.
Charlie.
Now presenting Twilight, Eat the Film edition.
I made a apple cider and ginger beer inspired drink. It's got a lime twist, a cinnamon stick, some apple garnish, and just a splash of bourbon. I bought boiled eggs in a Snap Lot bag because Emmett bought boiled eggs in a Snap Lot bag.
It's very Mean Girls coded.
Is this for actual eats or
Yes.
is it house like?
No, they're not prop eggs, they're for realsies eggs.
This is a chocolate mousse with Oreo biscuit crumb for the dirt and sour worms on the top.
Alright, mushroom ravioli.
I made a mushroom ravioli that has mushroom and white truffle ravioli with a cream sauce, has mushrooms and bacon and a bit of thyme.
This is the skin of a killer.
This cocktail is called This is the Skin of a Killer Bella. It is an apple and coconut flavored drink with apple cocktail mix, coconut milk, soda, and apple V.
Ooh, make sure we're gonna keep our energy up.
Yeah. Oh, because he's fast, so you gotta have speedy energy drink.
Yeah, absolutely.
She already ate.
No, yeah.
This is a take on a Caesar salad. We've got lettuce, avocado, egg, bacon, croutons, and a bit of Caesar dressing.
Hey, stop.
This is Edward's Blood Bag, aka Bella. It is technically a rosé punch made with vodka, Moscato rosé wine, a lemon lime soda.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Looks like my mouth is bleeding. Taste the sweet nectar of life. Refrigerate after opening. Despite from the fact that it looks like my teeth are bleeding, they are not. That was a cocktail. I think Rachel did a great job of linking her foodie bits and drinks to the film. Excellent work. 10 out of 10. No notes. Of course, while we were eating all of our yummy bits and drinking our cocktails, we had to do our colouring books too. Admittedly, with the extensive pen set that I got, the majority of my colouring time was just doing swatching, and I certainly wasn't as careful with the swatching as I could have been, but I did make decent progress in Twilight. Not necessarily enough progress to actually get time to colour in, but I figured that having the reference of the actual pen colours was kind of important. Now presenting New Moon, Eat the Film Edition.
And ladies first. Muffin?
My name is Monica, and this is my picture. Actually, no, it's not. I made red velvet cupcakes with vanilla icing on a moon plate, and that's meant to represent the cozy vibes of the garage scene between Jacob and Bella. So my cocktail / mocktail is called Shapeshifter, and it's a scene where Jacob reveals his werewolfness to Bella by jumping over her and shapeshifting into a werewolf.
Break time, need to get out the journal say stuff. Got all my little cards coloured in. Progress. It's okay, there's only one more movie left to go to actually do some colouring. But of course, they only have the first 2 on Netflix, so time to venture elsewhere, I guess. Now presenting Eclipse, Eat the Film Edition. So my first cocktail is a dark and stormy because the start of the film, it is dark and stormy, and so that felt very fitting. It has a smoked rum, ginger beer, and lime.
And nobody's life is perfect. Mine was.
My first foodie bit is called Perfect Life Platter because Rosalie says her life was perfect. So we have mini mushroom vol au vents and we have macaroons. We've got mini goat's cheese crostinis with pomegranate seeds and a honey drizzle, and mini lime melting moments because Rosalie's a little bitter. My second foodie bit contribution is called Civil War Rations, and it's inspired by Jasper's flashback. So we have Southern style chicken bites. We've got little beef sliders, mainly because I could have done barbecue sliders, but none of us really love barbecue sauce that much, and anybody who does like it can just put their own in. And jalapeno poppers, which we're calling Maria's Bite because when you get bit by a vampire, the venom kind of burns. And then I also have another drink that's tied to Jasper's flashback. That one is a maple bourbon smash, but I'm calling it Jasper's Regrets. It has maple syrup, bourbon, orange juice, lemon juice, and an orange wheel. Well, I managed to get one colouring page done. It is certainly a mixed bag in terms of the colours used, as opposed to the last one, which was like all pastels. And I got started on this one, which has a little bit of bleed through because the first line I put down on this page, I wasn't actually putting this kind of backing paper in the right spot. It's fine. Now we just need to tidy things up and take Rachel home. We've made some progress. It's not perfect yet, so a little more to do. But I had such a good time. It was just great getting to sit around with my friends and do our colouring and watch the silly movies, and mainly the creativity of being able to match foods and drinks to parts of the films. That was really cool. And getting to see what Rachel and Monica came up with, that was a lot of fun. I am well and truly stuffed though, and there is absolutely no way that I'm having Bogle's cake today. But I will be eating it because I'm very excited about it. It's my favourite cake. The kitchen is mostly tidy now. Things have been mostly put away, which means I have made it upstairs. I am zonked. I am well fed. I am well and truly ready for bed. But I'm kind of tempted to use my massage gun before I go to bed because my shoulders are a little stiff. So I'm going to go and figure out how that works, and then I'm going to go to sleep. Good night. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I had the type of sleep in that I have not had in many, many moons. Like without being sick, effectively. Thankfully, I'm not sick right now, but I'm feeling a little bit better rested, I guess. Honestly, right now I have no idea what's on the cards for today because I was so solely focused on making sure that my birthday day and the celebration around it was gonna be good. So I haven't planned anything for today, but I guess the first step is to get up, get ready for the day, and write myself a list. Haha, jokes, we're gonna exercise first because I want to keep the streak alive. I swear that the day I break the streak, I'm gonna be devastated. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Walking done, shower done, and now I'm at my desk. Typically speaking, Sunday would be a half work day, half chill day, but because it's my birthday weekend, I think I'm just gonna make it a chill day. Doesn't mean there won't be things to do, so I'm gonna consult my priorities list to make sure that any goal actions or whatnot that I need to do this week get done. And I also need to make sure that I fill in my mid-cycle check-in, which is essentially every 2 weeks I do a check-in. The one that is like the first 2 weeks of any 4-week block, that's the mid-cycle check-in, and then at the end, after 4 weeks, that is the end of cycle check-in. The general reason for them is essentially the same though, just making sure I'm keeping up with my progress, making sure I'm acknowledging anything that's been challenging and thinking about ways forward, so that in turn I can make more progress moving forward. This one I've already set up the spaces for in my journal. I don't need to go and set anything up, I just need to fill in the boxes. I went and added the crostinis from yesterday into my Notion recipe book, and I went and got myself a little something from the Quirky Cup Collective, just as like birthday present to self. But one thing in particular that I do want to do today, which is also in Notion actually, is finish the note-taking from the thumbnails course, or just go and tidy it up a little bit so it's more usable for future Jess. It didn't need too much editing, but those notes are now a little bit more streamlined, a little bit tidier, and most importantly, there is a section at the top for the most important information. So at least if I go back to it, yes, I can get kind of lost in the weeds of everything that I wrote down, but I also just have the key takeaways and those key points right up top. I've also gone and added a checklist for myself for thumbnails into my kind of video template space on Notion. So for instance, if this is my content schedule and each of these is a video that I'm putting out, each one of these just starts as a template. So if we go and add a new one in and press video, then it just kind of pre-populates with my ideas, my notes, my thumbnail checklist, and then a little kind of script section if I want to script anything out. Like everything in my Notion, it's still kind of a work in progress, but at least I have finished the course, which I purchased a year ago, and it literally only took me like 2 days to watch it, and it would have only taken 1 day if I dedicated a full day to it. I put it off, but now I've done it, I'm feeling good. So that is actually one of my goals that we can check off the list, along with celebrating my birthday. Though I'm going to kind of continue the celebration by taking most of the rest of today off, but before that I need to go do my mid-cycle check-in. For this, I just put on some spa music in the background because I like the kind of peaceful vibes that it gives, and went and filled in each of my sections. The ones that I have in there are wins, progress, routines or checking in with the habits I'm tracking, a space to write down things that are coming up, a spot to note down any challenges I've had and the responses I've had to those challenges, and then also a spot to note down anything that's a priority to do in the next 2 weeks, or what's left of the cycle. I've got that one mostly filled in now, so definitely some wins to celebrate, like completing the thumbnail course, rearranging the office, all of that kind of stuff, and some other progress pieces to be proud of, even though they're not like finalized milestones or anything. But with that progress, it also means that we have 3 items checked off my challenge goals list. Still plenty other ones to do, and some of them are going to happen across the entire of the challenge rather than all at once. But next week in particular, I'm going to be finishing my second brain setup, so stay tuned for that one. For now though, I'm going to go downstairs so that Vogel and I can have a chill time on the couch. I'm going to do some gaming, he's going to do some separate gaming. We're just going to take it really easy because we're both pretty zonked. I was also thinking about possibly changing one of these sticky notes so that they are highlighted a different color, because that would be the target that I'm aiming to hit for the 3-month challenge. Maybe just put it in green or something. So I'll just swap those 2 over, like pull that one off and put that one up. I promise it is actually green, it looks like super yellow here. But that'll just clearly indicate to me what I'm hoping for or aiming for across the next however many months we have in the challenge. And we still have the little tail of achievement there to keep me pleased with my progress. For now though, it's gaming time. Bogle and I had a most enjoyable afternoon just chilling on the couch, playing our games, him playing Pokemon, myself playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and now we're out to get some tea because we were planning on cooking, but we're both honestly not really feeling it. And in the interest of chill vibes, we're just getting food out. Once we've grabbed those though, we're just gonna head home, get cozy on the couch, have our food, watch some Stranger Things. And we also have this foot mask thing that we got a couple weeks ago and we want to try it out. I'm hoping it's okay. I'm kind of skeptical at this stage, but it feels like a kind of nice pampering activity to do for ourselves on a Sunday night, provided it doesn't end up doing me like a foot injury or something. As said, kind of skeptical, but eager to see how it goes. Having my feet sealed into little plastic bags like that for 2 hours was certainly an experience, yet to see if it will pay off. For now though, Vogel and I are going to go upstairs, finish off our final episode, and go to sleep. Well and truly zonked, but it was a really good weekend. Actually, just a really good week in general. I'm really glad I got the thumbnails course finished. But as said, it is time to go to bed. So now for something completely different. That took a bit scare. So close. Whee! Now I'm dizzy. Okay. I have hiccups. It's very frustrating.
What? Sorry.
I asked him to be quiet, so he just sits there making weird frog noises.
I had like a reaction
Yeah.
to my body.
A frog reaction.
I was just like, no. I tried to keep it quiet. That's why it was like a little, no, rather than a like, ah!
It might as well have been that though. Anyway.
Your fault.
Yes, offense. We are back home and we have acquired stuff. My hair is doing a thing. Thank you. Tidy. Podrica. No. Normally around this time, whoa, hair, calm down. Calm down. Walking done, and then Vogel and I are gonna go to, wait, no, it's done. Okay. Take two. I can figure out a sentence. Can she though? Can she? Good morning. Oh my gosh, that's a bit aggressive, isn't it? Let's go a bit more smoothly.
How far away? This far away? This far away?
Yeah, just like about there. Da-da-da. As long as it's not like in your mouth. Eat the mouth.
The hair is done, which means it's time for step 4. I lost count. Podrick, I did it again. Podrick, I've just said it too many times and now that's what it is.
Now presenting Rachel. Bored. Bored.
Just ignoring Jasper's face. It's a really great look for you. Rachel's just taking photos of herself with Charlie. She's such a cutie. Cutie. It looks flawless. Definitely a jam-packed week in terms of social events, but that also made for a fun one, and I'm pleased that I managed to get all my work stuff done at the same time and finish the thumbnails course that I had been putting off for literally a year. That actually makes for another 2 items checked off my list of 25 goals that I'm working on this quarter, and if you want to see how I've been getting on with the other ones, then this playlist is the one to check out. That one has all of our videos related to this round of the Change Your Life Challenge, along with the introductory video if you want to get involved too. It is not too late to make progress you can be proud of before the end of the year, and we'd love to have you with us. I need to go and start getting prepared for next week's project, which is going to be tackling my second brain, but for everything challenge related, click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.